Greetings, Cleveland. This is Genice's Gems, and I'm Genice Manning, part of St. Martin de Porres Corporate Work Study Program, interning at TV20 We Are Cleveland. Genice's Gems spotlights some of St. Martin's special students, staff, and teachers. Today, my guest is Dane Prewitt. How are you doing, Mr. Prewitt?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to this interview. So, are you originally from Cleveland?
Actually, no, I'm not. I'm originally from Chicago. I've been here in Cleveland going on 9 years now.
Okay. So, what high school did you attend?
I went to a small town high school in Southern Illinois called Egyptian. My mom moved us out of Chicago after a while. It was a little rough in the neighborhood I grew up in, which was Inglewood on the south side. And I spent my high school days at a small town called Tams, Illinois, believe it or not.
Okay.
And the high school probably was no bigger than 250 students.
Did you enjoy your small town? Like, tell me some of the good things, since you said you grew up in a bad place.
It was a lot slower than Chicago, but I always stayed connected to Chicago. So I would spend my summers, my holidays in Chicago. Most of my family, my relatives, they were in Chicago. So I stayed connected on the latest trends and things like that. And the majority of my friends were in Chicago. So I had a heart in two places.
So what were your favorite classes?
I love my biology teacher. I at the time, I took a liking to biology because she just made it fun. She made connections with us where we can understand the process of many things that biology had to do with. And, you know, I remember one summer, two of my friends and we were asked to help plant Christmas trees for her and her husband on a farm. So we planted Christmas trees for about 3 acres. So, you know, just doing things like that, exposing me to a new style of living.
So during Christmas, do you plant your own trees or you buy a tree?
I have an artificial tree, so that tree stays with us for about 2 or 3 years, and then we'll recycle it and get a new one.
Okay. So did you play any sports in high school?
I did. First love is basketball. I'm more built like a football player now, but don't worry about that. But early on, I fell in love with basketball. I was successful at it at the time, and I earned scholarships from it.
Okay, so did you go to college for basketball?
Sure did. Because I had some rivals in the area, we became really close, believe it or not, and we wanted to see what it was like to play with each other. So we decided to play at the local community college. Made several coaches upset because of our decision to stay home, but we played together for about a year. I went to this community college for 2 years, got my associate's degree. Then I received another 4-year offer somewhere called McKendree College at the time, now known as McKendree University.
Okay, so how was your grades?
My grades were fair. I was a big procrastinator growing up in high school and college. I would wait till the last minute to try to do things, but I noticed when I applied myself, things kind of came easy or natural to me. So my mom would always tell me, stop doing enough to get by, right? And, you know, I first experienced my mom's voice from that when I interviewed at the time, I believe, with State Farm. And I wanted to be a agent or a broker at the time. And I will never forget, the manager asked me, well, Mr. Prewitt, your grades or your GPA isn't a 4.0, where we have a couple of other applicants, they have 4.0 GPAs. How can you explain that? And boom, it came back to haunt me. Like, my mom always told me to apply myself. And now I won't get this job because other applicants, their GPA says otherwise. Doesn't necessarily mean they're more skillful than I am or I couldn't learn a position, but they just show more self-discipline and they had more structure at that time on paper than I did.
Okay, so where did you go after State Farm?
Well, I ended up being in the social field. I used to work for a juvenile center, juvenile detention center, and a court system as well. And I ended up doing that. And that's when I realized, okay, I kind of like, it's more rewarding. I like this. I can help change or intervene or redirect some of the adolescents who struggle or made some poor decisions, get back on track. And it was there when I realized I also found a love for education.
Okay. So when you start finding your love for education, when did you decide that you wanted to be a dean?
I didn't necessarily decide I wanted to be a dean. I wanted to get my foot in the door of education without being a teacher per se, right? And I went in Chicago, I received a counseling job, college counseling job, and I would interact a lot of times one-on-one with students, trying to help them direct their path, see what direction they want to go in, to be successful. But I also held students accountable while doing that. And our dean at the time received a promotion for the network. And the principal was worried about us not having a dean. And she called me over the Christmas break and said, I was going to post this dean position, but I realized we have a dean in our building already. And she offered me that position, and I took it. And so I kind of slid into that role. I had already created and built relationships with students, and which kind of made it easier for me. And that taught me that, in order to do this job, there's two things. I learned from students, one. And two, I can't do the job without building and creating relationships.
Okay, so what are your favorite ways on creating a bond? Like, what do you do to get people comfortable to start creating a bond with you so they could trust you and listen to what you have to say?
That's a great question, Genice. Actually, I got a saying here in St. Martin that I often use. I keep her ear glued to the streets, meaning I'm staying up on what you like, from the latest trends, the music, how to communicate, understanding the way your generation communicates, not taking it personal, that sort of thing. But at the same time, showing and sharing my values, my character, in terms of what made me who I am, how I was raised, and how does that align with St. Martin, with what we do today.
Okay, so how long have you been working here at St. Martin?
It would be 6 years in September. I started in 2017.
Okay, so what do you like most about the school since you've been here for a while now?
Some people may say, he's just kidding, but believe it or not, it's the students. It's you guys. It is the reason I do the job. I've never done this type of work for money. As a matter of fact, you will hear people often say education doesn't pay. It doesn't. But, if you do things for the passion, the money will come. And I'm a firm believer that, if I can impact one life, I've made a difference. And that is why I come in every day as much as I can to just pour into you all.
Okay, so what are some of your daily duties here at St. Martin? Like, what do you do from a day-to-day basis once you get here to once you leave?
Okay. Well, I'm known as, quote unquote, the culture keeper, right? I understand that here at St. Martin has really worked to create a culture that's a safe place for learning, a safe place for students to come and enjoy their environment. Because honestly, kids are at school a lot, right? We're awake here just as much as we are at home. So just like the second home. So to make it comfortable, a place for learning. So when I come in the mornings, I tend to just, observe to see what I see. But most importantly, I'm seeing how you guys come in that door. I'm checking the temperature to see how you're feeling. Just make sure everything is fine. To see, hey, what's going on? You okay? You don't look yourself, whatnot. So I am greeting everyone. And I'm a big component of when you walk into a room, please speak, please greet. So I want all the students to know that. And then I will walk the floor just to make sure everything is going smoothly. And in each classroom, peeking in the classrooms to make sure teachers are able to teach and students are able to learn with very little to no distractions.
So if you were asked to give St. Martin a review, what would you say? And what would you rate it from a 1 to a 10? What would you rate it?
1 to 10? I would give St. Martin, I don't want to give St. Martin a perfect score because then that would say we're perfect, right? No, we're not perfect. However, a strong 8.5 because we're on the way up. I truly appreciate St. Martin for how it's grown and for allowing me to be a part of that culture and watching the growth and the changes and how we've been trying to impact the lives every day, every year. Teachers and staff, they're coming in here and really pouring their all into St. Martin. St. Martin is really going in the right direction. I think we're Cleveland's best kept secret for a small private Catholic school. And, you know, what I truly love is that you guys come from the same place as everyone else come from. But it's something about this place that causes everyone to adjust to the culture and just make everyone feel welcome. And it's a different feel here. You know, it's a different sound here. We don't have to worry about a lot of things that may occur other places. Although we're not perfect, but we're still working to make sure that we can all maximize learning.
Okay, so what do you think about the corporate work study program?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it in the fact that if I'm a 14 to 18-year-old student, I can graduate high school and have 1,200 to 1,400 work hours on my resume. That's unheard of anywhere else, right? Because when I was growing up, like, you couldn't hold a job until you're 16 at least, and then a lot of times that was in the summer. And then being a part of a sports team, basketball, we weren't allowed to work while we played basketball. So we definitely didn't have a job while going to school. But this program that teaches professionalism, we are a professional school where you have an opportunity to work from law firms for the Cavaliers, Indians, different non-for-profit organizations. I think that's a huge benefit, more importantly, a blessing for each and every one of our students of color, those who come from challenging backgrounds or environments, to have an opportunity.
Okay, so where do you see St. Martin in 5 years from now?
Oh, 5 years from now, I see everybody in Cleveland knowing about St. Martin.
Okay.
Those families who truly believe in what St. Martin has been teaching and in the vision of St. Martin here in this St. Clair Superior neighborhood. I just see it being a huge deal. Here in this building, we're the first new building in over 100 years in this neighborhood. So there's nothing but great things to come for St. Martin in the near future. And I truly look forward to being a part of this community.
Okay, so if you could change one thing about St. Martin, what would you change?
Interesting. Let me take a second for that question. Here's the thing. What could I change about St. Martin? I don't know. I think everything about St. Martin is the reason it is.
Okay.
I don't think I would change anything because although not being perfect in some aspects, that is how we learn and grow, you know? So I don't know if I would change anything. Okay. I'll say this. I wish we can build faster. Okay. I wish we had the opportunity to grow faster. Okay. But we're growing at our pace for a reason. Okay. You know, and I want us to attract more students across the city of Cleveland. Those who look like us, those who don't look like us. Okay. All inclusive here.
Okay. So on your free time, what do you do? Like, what is your favorite things to do, your hobbies or enjoyment?
Well, March is one of my favorite months for my free time because March Madness is coming up. Okay. And when March Madness hit, I don't care if I'm at work or at home, I'm going to have some kind of game on the computer or the TV or something somewhere. But I truly enjoy taking time to watch sports, mainly basketball. Okay. And just unwinding because I think it's very important that I have me time and to process my days and unload and then be ready to do it all over again.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for agreeing to this interview with me, and thank you for talking with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me anytime.
This is Genice's Gems, and I'm Genice Manning for St. Martin and TV20. But until next time, remember, all gems are not made of stone, but of love.